Hi and welcome to another free.volous webisode. Yes, I have a huge cold. It was really hard for me to get out of my onesie today. But yeah, you will have to endure my stuffy nose and my weird voice because that's how I'm rolling today. And I have a ring light. I got it for my birthday. And I'm so happy, and because of that the light may be weird on the next few videos while I test things out and try it out, but I think I'm liking it so far. Let me know what you think about it on the comments below. Of course, my up close and personal videos will always have better lighting to show you how everything performs on my face. Fear not, I'm not going to deceive you just to look better on my videos. That's not why I'm here. But let's jump into my favorite complexion products of 2017. As you know, these were my finds for 2017, not necessarily new products from 2017. And the neighbor's dog is barking, but we're gonna go with it. Now let's start with primer. I went on a hunt this year for primers that worked well with my face. The Hourglass Complexion Veil Mineral Primer, that's how it's called, the Veil Mineral Primer, is really nice, but it has a silicone base, so I can't use it too often. This does not mattify too much, just a little bit, and I would say that the NYX Angel Veil Primer is very similar. So if you're going for an affordable version, that one would be it. But this is really nice. It smooths a little bit the skin. It doesn't conceal all of my pores or anything, but it gives sort of a very, very nice, even all over surface for you to work on. So I've really enjoyed this one. But my major find this year, and because I'm allergic or I break out a bit from silicones, I was looking for a primer that was mattifying because my skin has been really oily lately, and I was looking for a mattifying primer that had no silicone, and I finally found one that really works. This is the Evermatte Poreless Priming Perfector by Becca, which has recently started to be sold here at Sephora's, and I'm really enjoying this product. It has a very thick texture. You need the tiniest amount on your fingers and press it on the areas where you're really oily, and this just works wonders. It's really mattifying. I wouldn't apply this all over my face, but on those little areas, yes, just make sure you press it on, let it set for a little bit before you go in with your foundation, or it will start to ball up. But if you let it set for a little bit, it works amazing. When it comes to foundations, let's start with a everyday sort of sheer coverage foundation. I didn't do an up close and personal on this one because, again, this is a very recent discovery, but I've been loving this on my no fuss days where I just need to run out, do some errands, and I want something with a little bit of coverage, and that's it. And you know I love my BB creams in the winter. And this is the Dr. Jart BB cream. I bought this for my sister and then I went and bought it for me because I was in love with how it looked on the skin. And this has a good tint, again, for lighter skin tones because BB creams don't come in darker tones. I don't know why, although they try to sell them to the Western market. But anyway, this has a tint to it that is more flattering than the more grayier tones of the Skin 79 BB creams. The finish is very perfecting, very silky. This is quite moisturizing, so I need a little bit of mattifying underneath and a little bit of powder on top. But for somebody that has a dry skin, this would be phenomenal on its own. And for me, for no fuss days, this is where what I go for, and have been really enjoying it. When it comes to the budget buy of the year for foundations, this is no surprise, the Catrice Liquid Coverage HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. I've done an up close and personal on this, and this is phenomenal. This gives pretty high coverage, medium to high coverage. It looks really nice and matte on the skin without being flat. It covers really nicely problem areas that you may have. And it lasts for a very long time. It doesn't become too oily throughout the day, so it's easy to blot and it doesn't break down. And Stephanie Nicole says the formula on this is basically the same as the Fenty Beauty. So if you fit into the 4 tones of white that this foundation comes in, this is the best buy in 2017. Just keep in mind this has a lot of silicones, so I personally have to pick and choose my battles, and knowing that I will have some consequences a couple of days down the road, I will break out from it. The high-end foundation of the year for me is the Hourglass Vanish Stick, Seamless Stick Vanish. This is very expensive. You can only buy this through Space & K, at least here for Portugal, but it's really good. It gives a very natural skin look to your skin. It has a buildable coverage that you can really customize to your needs. You can use this as a concealer. I would say it's a waste of money, in my opinion, but anyway, you can do whatever you want. If you have dry skin, just apply a dab of oil on your skin before starting your foundation routine. If you don't, you may use a little bit of a mattifying primer on strategic areas, and I think this is a good all-rounder, I think. And it looks like skin. You know that I'd go for customizable coverage, because I love things like Clinique Beyond Perfecting, and I can make it look quite sheer, and this is the same thing. I can make it look quite sheer where I need it, and then build up coverage where I need it, and it looks really natural and beautiful on the skin, and it's so good for traveling, so portable and dinky. Love this. Let's talk about concealers next, and I have one that will be no surprise for you. It's the NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer. I've made a huge dent on my summer color, which is ginger, and I already have my winter color, which is custard. This is beautiful, especially for me underneath the eyes, because you can press it on. The finish on this is matte enough so that it doesn't look too oily or greasy, but it's not matte in the sense that it looks dry and crackly. I don't set this with powder. Just keep that in mind. I don't like powder underneath my eyes. It just makes them look worse because of the texture. But overall, love this. On my flat hyperpigmentation areas, also beautiful. On my raised bumps that are really red, I find this to slide a bit off. So this is not my favorite product for that. But yes, overall, amazing concealer, amazing discovery. And this, I got it just a few days ago, but I've been wearing it non-stop, so that's how much I love it. This is the ColourPop No Filter Concealer, and oh golly, this is amazing. If you like the Naked Skin Concealer from Urban Decay, this is basically it. This goes underneath the eyes really nicely. This goes on blemishes really nicely. It stays on really nicely. It doesn't look cakey if you don't powder too much, so it doesn't cling on to any dry patches. It's really phenomenal, and it's so inexpensive. Now, let's talk about a contour. And this was a find from my Look Fantastic beauty box. This is the Illamasqua Gel Sculpt, and this is a stick with a gel sort of product that you apply onto your face and you sculpt with it. And this gives just the perfect shadow on your cheeks, and it's beautiful. It's just beautiful. It's really sheer, so you can build it up, but it doesn't disrupt your foundation. I like to apply it with a brush instead of rubbing it on. It glides really beautifully, and it's so sheer that you can go with a very soft contour, but you can then build it up, which I really appreciate. It's a great little thing. Really happy I found it this year, although it's been out for years and years and years. A more affordable version that I really do trust is the Maybelline Master Contour. I have no idea if I've mentioned this in my yearly favorites before, but the contour side of this stick is amazing. This has more pigment. It's more of a cream than a gel, so it's not as sheer, but you can blend it out so easily. The formula is really good, and if you're going for a budget contour, even not budget, this is a really good contour, period. Still on the cream side, because I don't use that much blusher, you know, I have a NYX palette, I have a couple of Max Factor Cream Puff blushes, and a couple of Colourpop Super Shock Cheek blushes, and those are the ones that I go for every time I need something. And I don't go for blushes too often, but I had to try these out. These are the Glossier Cloud Paints. Glossier or Glossier, I don't know. And I really enjoy these. But keep in mind, this is a very sheer wash of color. You can blend it out really easily, but it's not too impactful. So if you're looking for a lot of pigment on your cheeks, this will not be the product for you. And I like the fact that it's a cream that blends really beautiful, really easily into your foundation. So I like creams despite having oily skin. When it comes to highlighter, I'm still a Becca fan. I still use Opal, both the liquid and the powder, almost every single time I use a highlighter. And I'm not a highlighter hoarder, but these are the ones I bought I got a few weeks after my 2016 favorites. These are the Colourpop Super Shock Cheek highlighters, and I really like them, and I had to mention them because I never got around to talk about them, and they're really good. Cream to powder, so you take a little bit, you dab it onto your skin, and you get this reflection, beautiful reflection. I have Lunch Money and Wisp. Flexitarian is said to be a really good one too within this sort of beigey color range. These, the ones that I have, are not glittery, which I love. Just gives you that glossy sheen that I adore. Again, so affordable, you cannot go wrong. When it comes to bronzer, I was a little bit torn about talking about this one because this was a limited edition product, but it's a whole mention. Kiko bronzers, especially the limited edition ones, at least the ones that I have, are also amazing. This one came out in the summer. I think this is the Mini Divas Baked Bronzer. It's really dinky. It was a bit expensive for the amount of product that you have, but you don't need a lot. And as an everyday, very subtle bronzer, this is so good. It's not too warm, it's not too cool. It's just the perfect in between for my liking. And I would really urge you to give Kiko bronzers as a whole. The marbled ones are really good. Give them a look because usually they make them really nicely. Let's talk about powders now. And I have a couple of them. They do kind of the same thing. Again, two different price ranges. RCMA No Color Powder and Kat Von D Lock-It Setting Powder. These two powders do the same thing for me. They do not absorb oils madly. Your oils will start to shine through these powders, no doubt about it. What these are really good for is for setting the makeup. So for making it stay on your face and not feel sticky and like it's going to glide off and you're going to touch it, it's going to come off on your finger. These powders are really good for that without making your face look really cakey. And that's why I use them for. Again, two very different price ranges, and the amount of product that you get with this one is incredible. The packaging though is so annoying, so annoying. But these are not extremely mattifying, just keep that in mind. Now this is not a find for this year, but when it comes to pressed powders, I went back to this full throttle, and it's been a very long time since I was into this powder. This is the Studio Fix powder by MAC. It's old as time, this product, and I've been loving using this to set my makeup and again absorb oils, which is something that this does really nicely. And if you're using something sheerer like this, but you need a little bit more coverage, the Studio Fix powder is your jam. And you just press it on or buff it onto your face. It doesn't look cakey if you don't use too much, and it looks beautiful on the skin. It just perfects it without being noticeable. And it's such an old product that I think it's sort of a new thing again. It's a comeback for me, and I've been using it very often, especially with my BB creams. Last but not least is this little guy right here. This is the Urban Decay De-Slick spray, and it's a setting spray like the all-nighter setting spray, but this one is more targeted towards oily skins, and my skin has been oily and I've been really enjoying. I find that this one really keeps my makeup on for longer. And again, it sort of helps with the oiliness. It doesn't give a matte finish to the skin when you spray it on. It sort of dissolves the powders also. But throughout the day, I find that this makes my makeup last longer despite my oils than the all-nighter. So I think when I repurchase a setting spray, this will be the one. The problem with this one is it smells like spit. You know, you have to suffer to be beautiful. Don't they say that? This was my selection of favorite products in 2017 for my complexion. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment down below with your favorite complexion products. I would love to know about them, and we can all share knowledge and experiences and get intrigued by new products, who knows? And leave me a thumbs up down below if you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for spending your time on me, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye!